You can't see it simply by stargazing, but astronomers say they've pinpointed the farthest star humans have ever identified using technology and a wrinkle in space. Its name is Earendel, not to be confused with Arendelle, and two space telescopes located it in a galaxy far, far away. In fact, they say a cluster of stars researchers find Earendel. That cluster, according to NASA, is so massive that it, quote, warps the fabric of space, giving scientists a distant view like they're looking through a magnifying glass. All this has led to the idea that Earendel is twice as hot as the sun and 1,000,000 times more luminous, give or take. This is the world from A to Z with me. I'm Carl Azuz, and Fridays are awesome. We have a lot to talk about on this last day of our first week online. Earlier, we discussed wildfires on the Mediterranean island of Cyprus. Today, we're taking you to the other side of the northern hemisphere, to Maui, Hawaii, where a fast-moving wildfire this week has killed at least 36 people and displaced hundreds, if not thousands, from their homes. You can see some of the damage here from the air. Buildings and houses destroyed in the historic town of Lahaina. Officials say winds from a hurricane about 800 miles south of the island contributed to how quickly the fire spread. Some people got away from the blazes by going straight into the ocean. The Coast Guard tweeted that it rescued 12 people from the water. Officials have asked visitors to leave the popular tourist destination as soon as possible. As for others with plans to travel here, they're saying stay away for now so authorities can focus on helping those who've had to leave their homes.
A world of knowledge. Logic Theorist is widely considered to be the first what? Sci-fi novel, AI program, philosophical paper, calculating machine. Introduced in the 1950s, Logic Theorist was a computer program that many call the first example of AI.
Is artificial intelligence coming for your job? There are growing signs that AI is already disrupting the global workforce, and experts say it's just the beginning. Goldman Sachs economist predicting 300 million full-time jobs could be affected by the latest wave of AI, which has created platforms like ChatGPT.
The world has changed. These are new tools. You can't fear them. You just have to learn to use them.
All that is already impacting nearly every industry, from art and music, where AI-generated songs are more affordable since there's no producer, composer, or artist to pay.
It's taken away opportunity from songwriters, producers, and artists, right? So the people are trying to feed them, their families.
The manufacturing sector also seen an impact. And then there's fast food, where AI is ready to take your order.
Classic or bacon barbecue.
Places like this Checkers restaurant in Iowa are already using AI for their drive-through window.
Whatever the guest says, it will react to that. It's crazy, and they'll just start a conversation.
Okay, those are some of the concerns, but we're all about multiple perspectives here on the world from A to Z, and supporters of AI technology say there's a lot of good it can do. Robots like these at an AI convention over the summer could take on risky tasks that might threaten people, like going into areas with high radiation or other physical dangers. If the bot gets destroyed, build another one. AI can also provide 24/7 help. Think chatbots that are available with no days off. And the technology could take on repetitive jobs that wear people out, freeing them up to do more creative work. On this date in world history, America's Pastime stars on today's flashback. It features the Bambino, the Sultan of Swat, the possible namesake of a well-known candy bar. The history's a little fuzzy on that, but it's not fuzzy on what Babe Ruth did on August 11th, 1929. The New York Yankees slugger connected with the Cleveland Indians fastball to launch the Babe's 500th home run. It was the first time anyone in professional baseball had recorded 500, and in all the years since 1929, fewer than 30 others have joined the Babe in doing it. But he didn't stop there. The Sultan ultimately swatted 714 home runs, a number only 2 others have surpassed, and that's one of the accomplishments that made him an enduringly famous figure in baseball history. Couple reptile-related reports coming your way right now. The first has to do with saltwater crocodiles. They've made a big comeback in Australia. Back in the 1970s, these animals almost went extinct on the continent. The main reason was hunting. But the Australian government put laws in place to protect the reptiles. In some areas, for instance, you need a permit to interact with them in any way. And since then, croc numbers have stabilized and they're not listed as endangered. However, they are still a deadly apex predator, and while human deaths from crocodile attacks are relatively rare in the river you're about to visit, the threat is increasing.
This is the Lower Ord River, Australia's largest saltwater crocodile habitat. Tons of people come here every year to fish and swim, but it's getting downright dangerous.
Watch out for croc, we've got to be alert every time.
People are putting their own lives at risk, and they're people with families and loved ones.
This creature is hiding just a few hundred meters from Ivanhoe Crossing, a popular leisure spot. Crocodile numbers in the river have doubled in the last 5 years, now more than 2,000. Ben Corey studies their population growth.
As we see crocodile numbers recover from near extinction, they'll sort of reach, the numbers will stabilise, and we'll start to see more and more bigger animals in the population.
The longest saltwater crocodile on record measured about 20 feet, but it is still not the longest reptile. That title belongs to the reticulated python, another animal you don't want to hang out with in the wild. These things can exceed 20 feet. They're not venomous, they really don't need to be, and despite their length, reticulated pythons don't typically become as heavy as Burmese pythons, which are now an invasive species in the Florida Everglades. Their weight can and has been an issue for those who try to capture them.
This looks like some people's worst nightmare, but it was a world record catch this July for a snake hunter named Jake Willeri. Watch as he grabs the snake just below its head and wrestles with it. Then the snake starts to coil around him. That's how they suffocate their prey. But some other snake hunters helped him out by grabbing the tail and keeping it from harming the 22-year-old. Willeri says they still had to fight to tape the snake's mouth shut and wear the thing out.
No one's ever seen one this size before. So to be able to have the opportunity and almost obligation to grab this thing, I would have felt terrible losing the snake. So I knew I had to do everything I could to actually go after that head and make sure I got control of it.
Python hunting is legal in Florida. These massive predators are not native to the Everglades, and they do a lot of damage to wildlife in the area. The Florida Wildlife Commission encourages hunters to humanely kill any Burmese pythons caught on private land or in certain conservation areas. After this snake was put down, scientists measured it, and get this, it weighed in at 125 pounds and was 19 feet long. That's half the size of a telephone pole and a world record breaker for longest python ever caught.
As we say here at the World from A to Z studios near Atlanta, Georgia, we love y'all. All y'all. We'll be announcing schools all year long, and this Friday, we're ringing the bell for Miss Bell's class. It's at the Devereaux School, located in Red Hook, New York. Moving out west, we're running with the Mustangs now. Mr. Aldridge and his students are watching from Campus Middle School in Greenwood Village, Colorado. Ever been told you've got it all backwards? This guy has too, and he's hoping to take it all the way to the Guinness Book of World Records. Competitive cyclist Will Walker rides his bike backwards pretty much all the time. His unique style started while hanging out with friends, but now it's getting him noticed worldwide. He recently completed a 500-mile ride across Iowa, 7 days of riding in reverse. He submitted the feat to Guinness to see if it's a record breaker. Will plans to use his growing fame to start a foundation to help those less fortunate. Wonder what made him think, I want to do this across the whole state. Was it a reversal or an about-face from his previous position? Did he turn his back, throwing caution to the wind at his back to shift gears and unwind in a rewind that turns things around in a whole new cycle? I guess either way you look at it, he's keeping it wheel, y'all. I'm Carl Azus for The World from A to Z. Thank you for watching. Please let your friends, your teachers, your colleagues know that we are here weekdays at worldatozorg, and have a wonderful weekend ahead.